If you made this long, congratulations, because basically you understand already how the supply demand zones work, how to find them, how to profit, how to set up everything, and you also know the 1% strategy, which can make you millionaire by having the right mindset. Now we are going to be talking about some important strategies, advanced strategies on how we do things, and other things that I think it's important and you might be interested. Let's start first of all with the indicator we use, which is called RSI, which stands for Relative Strength Index. Okay, and sorry for my very readable letters, but that's what it is. So the RSI basically is an indicator that shows us if the market is oversold or overbought. If it's overbought, then the market will go up. If it's oversold, the market will go down. And it's basically not going down, but maybe having a break before continuing, or will just reverse, depending on if you are looking on the daily chart, weekly chart, 1 minute chart. There are lots of different options. So with the RSI, we have 100 level, 0 level, 30, and 70. The 70 and the 30 are the ones that tells us whether the market is oversold or overbought. In case we find, let's say we have a demand zone, okay, the market goes up and the RSI as well goes down, touching the oversold level. This gives us an extra confirmation that if it reached the demand zone plus we got an RSI, that's great. Much better for us because we have an extra confirmation, right? The same applies for the supply level when it touches the 70 or above levels. Now, let's think about another strategy, which is called the divergence strategy. This is I would say a premium one, but this is a spoiler, which basically is the following. Look, we can have, it's called divergence RSI trading strategy, meaning that if, for example, the market goes down here, then after goes more down, and the RSI, instead of, let's say it touched 30, went up, then this level and this level, you can see clearly that this level is even down, right? But this level, let's say, on the RSI is not down. For example, here can be 25, this level of the RSI, and here can be 31. In this case, we see that there's a clear divergence, that the RSI didn't go as down as this one. Therefore, here is pointing a weakening of the overall power going down. Therefore, for us, this confirmation is 10 times better than the confirmation of this one. And if we have, again, demand level, supply level, really doesn't matter. With the divergence confirmation, for us, it's even better. Just check out how the divergence on RSI works, and you will pretty much understand how this strategy works. And if you apply this with the supply and demand zones, that's a gold mine. Okay, so let's move to the next one, which is the multi-time frame. Now let's talk about the multi-time frame, why it's important and why we are using on a daily basis. As you remember, I talked about all the stars aligning together. That means the following. Whenever we have a weekly, daily, 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart, and 15-minute chart, okay, for example, we have a weekly closed chart, previously closed chart, the daily previously closed chart up, the 4-hour chart closed up, okay, the 1-hour chart closed up, and inside the 1-hour chart we have something like this. Guess what? Guess what? Here is my 5% risk trading. This is the best of the best you can find in the internet, in any market, because the power of the week, the power of the day, the 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart are aligned together to give you the perfect entry to go up and make money. Here is when I put 5%. I don't put more than 5% because anything can happen. But this is the perfect level, the perfect setup that I dream of. Is not happening every day. It might happen once a week, twice a month, maybe. But whenever this happens, you just found gold. And if you're intelligent enough to understand this strategy, and by using this strategy, you don't need an RSI, you don't need anything. You just need to wait until the perfect setup is there and then put your trade and make money. That's the way it is. You can lose money here, you can. It's a trading. But the chances to lose money here is as low as possible, making this one of the best chances to make money, up to 90 or 95%. I almost never lost any trade when I had this setup. So remember, this setup, it can be up or down, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter even the financial news, the fundamental news, nothing matters here. Apart of if someone like Trump or big macroeconomic events happen. But other than that, this is gold mine. Okay? So let's move to the next one, which are the fresh levels. So now let's talk about the fresh levels and why they are important. I already talked about this, but let's go a bit deeper on this. So when we have a demand zone here, okay, and here we have 5,000 buyers and we have 1,000 sellers, what happens is the following. As soon as it goes up and goes down here, the clean and more easy way to understand is that we have, just by mathematically talking, we have 4,000 buyers here, 4K buyers. So it's gonna go up. But if we have a huge pressure, selling pressure here, and it goes down, as soon as this level touches and goes up, these buyers are gonna take profit here. Okay? So as soon as they take profit here, there aren't any more 4K buyers here. It could be 1,000 maybe, or 2,000 or whatever, but it's not gonna be as big as the first one. That's why we tell that the fresh levels are gold. I don't trade second levels, maybe sometimes, but not much of that, because here what can happen is can go a bit higher and boom. Why? Because the selling pressure is higher than this level, and because this level is already saturated. It's taken, it's done its job, what meant to be done. So from here it grew up, finita la commedia. That's why always aim to find fresh level. If isn't a fresh level, you can trade, yes. How I would be trading, maybe 0.5% or just a small percentage that if takes the stop loss, whatever. Okay? But if it's the fresh level, again, the 1% is totally fine. It's important because the balance and imbalance every single moment is happening. And when places like this, it's already working out, This 4K is gonna make its profit, it's gonna take profits, and it's gonna leave that level. It's gonna start finding new levels where the supply and demand imbalances are there, and it's gonna wait there. Okay? Important to understand. Thank you. Let's move to the next one. So now let's talk about the small time frames, why they are important, and how you can double or triple your investment by going as deep as possible into the level, which basically can be a surgical level of trading. Let me explain. Let's say that we have a demand zone here, 4-hour chart demand zone. Okay, this is the 4-hour chart. And inside the 4-hour chart, we have the 15-minute chart, which I will replicate this here. It will be something like this, then after here we have, and here is the pump. This is the same as here, okay? These two, it's gonna be like this, but inside of the 4-hour chart, on the 15-minute chart, we have this demand level. Let's keep one thing important. If we have 1 to 3 risk ratio, okay, here your risk ratio could be 1 to 10. Great, right? 1 to 10 just because you zoomed in as much as you can, and by doing that, you're just 10xing your potential profits. Remember that this is unique strategy. You can find it pretty much everywhere on the bigger time frame supply and demand zones. Therefore, just consider this. It's super important. Thank you. And let's talk about the mindset, which in order to become a millionaire by investing $2,000, $1,000, you need to be unbreakable here. Okay? Unbreakable. Super important. First of all, never ever touch your stop loss. Never. Always is better to lose 1% than lose 10% or 20%, because you're not gonna just lose 20% of your capital. You're gonna lose the hope on yourself. Okay? You're gonna lose discipline. You're gonna lose sleep. You're gonna be like a zombie. Never ever touch that. Super important. If you are touching that, just touch it because you are going to put it into the break even, nothing else. Okay? Second thing, the take profit. Remember to take profit 50% of your gains at the 70% of the rally, and leave alone the other rally that can happen. That's another super important thing, so you can live a trader style life and be happy. Okay? That's super important. The 1%. Never ever risk more than 1% if, of course, all the stars doesn't align together, which you can go higher. But other than that, 1% is the perfect spot, so you are not gonna kill yourself. Okay? So next one is about consistency. Consistency is the key. Everything that comes together, okay? Because by not deleting, canceling the stop loss, taking the take profit whenever you have to take it, okay, what else? The 1%, keeping it straight, and being consistent is basically all in one together. Please make sure, if you have reached this level, make sure to be consistent. Make sure to think about your future, your bright future. The whatever you want to buy doesn't really matter. The yachts, the Lamborghinis, or the houses, or whatever you are looking to buy, just focus on that and never ever change your way. Go the way I'm teaching you. That's the way you have to go. I've gone all the ways possible along my career, which is a long track record, and I am 100% sure that the consistency with these things together works wonders. Okay. Last thing is about using an app called Altrady. It's a crypto trading platform that we are using, and it's 10 times better than Binance or whatever exchange you can imagine. Why? Because it's designed specially for traders. You can set up everything, starting from the stop loss, take profit, how much funds you need to invest in order to make sure your 1% is equal to the range of the demand or supply zone. Okay. And basically, you can automate everything, and you just need 1 hour screen. 1 hour screen without trading. You can put your take profit, stop loss. You basically can automate anything. You already saw that there's a supply level there. You can put your sell order there, the stop loss there, the take profit there, the trailing stop there, basically everything. This works wonders. Okay. So that being said, thanks a lot. See you in the next one.